So I think those are three solid victories. We had one apiece and then one combined victory. I take it all day, bro. I take it all day. Welcome to another episode of Lending Lounge. Jose, we got to talk about our good week that we have because we're only going to bring positivity. We're not trying to bring negativity. We want to throw some positivity out in that world. Yeah. And let's talk about some good stuff that happened this week. You want to start or you want me to start off?
Go ahead, start.
So I'm going to start off. I would say this week, let me throw, I got to thank my lending partners. I have to. If you're watching this, Andrew Kuhn, Top, I believe it was Lisa was the underwriter. I got to give you guys props where props are due. Mm-hmm. You know, we had a little hiccup with a condition. And again, not to try to point fingers or nothing, but there was an issue with the condition and I had got them the condition. But the underwriter was watching it, was looking at saying tomato and I was saying tomato. Right. At the end of the day, it was the same thing, right? And, you know, I'm just going to go say what it is. The issue was we were getting gift funds and they wanted to say the client got it from the fiance. Oh. But the guideline apparently says that's not good enough to be a gift donor. But a good friend is.
How that make sense to me. You know, I'm married. You're married.
100%.
You know, obviously, you and I are best friends. I told his wife that he's mine before he was yours. I get it, but the wife is always going to be best friend because you live with her. You know, and that's your best friend.
And that's what I told Top. I was like, Top, my brother.
Like, come on.
Like, the reason I'm CR in this is because I'll tell you the truth. Like, that's his fiance. And number two, you would hope and pray that your fiance is your best friend, good friend, some type of friend.
I hate the fact that the guideline is a friend is fine and not a fiance. This is somebody I'm married. I'm vested in this person for the rest of my life, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
And she can't be a viable donor? That's crazy to me.
So anyways, long story short, I gotta giving credit where credit is due. Right. He signed off on it. He was like, no, Pablo, I appreciate, I'm gonna get somebody to look at this, and they did. Okay. And that's good because, my client, for those that don't know, we had a hurricane or tropical storm, hurricane, whatever it ended up being, came through this area. Yeah. So then the other thing that I was worried about was that they would declare that county a disaster area by FEMA. Yeah. And if that would have happened, then now I got to get another appraiser to go out there to make sure, do a drive-by, make sure the house is still standing. Yeah. And then that's another week lost there. Right. So, I thank God, and I'm very happy that I didn't have to do that. Right. I was able to get them there clear to close. And then yesterday they closed, and we talked he called me afterwards and we talked, and I was like, I know it wasn't the ideal situation, right. But anything that's worth doing is gonna have a little bit of sacrifice. And the good thing is that we made it to the closing table. I told you that house was yours no matter what. It was your house. And you're there. And congratulations to you. And Ed, I hope that you enjoyed it and make many, 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 many memories in there with your family.
Absolutely.
So for me, that's what it's all about.
That's a great story. I love it.
How about you? You got anything?
So a good positive for me. So yeah, actually I did. I was doing seminars with realtors a couple weeks back, mm-hmm. Right? Samara and Jasmine, these are people that I work with. And, we do from time to time little classes and seminars and things of that nature. One of the realtors that was in there, his name is Joseph. Joseph, if you're watching this, thank you. He referred me to he was a listing agent. He referred me to the buyer's agent. The buyer's agent had a lender who could not close a loan. I'm in the process right now submitting it. But just the fact that I was able to speak to her in a manner, and Joseph, everything is very transparent, right? I love being transparent on the deals. I'm the type of person who wants to communicate with everybody, let them know exactly what's going on, but I let them know exactly what's going on. If I could close the deal, I will close it. If I can't, I can't, right? And just the fact that I was working in that fashion, because I like to work in that manner, that person is already saying, thank you for everything that you're doing. I appreciate it. I hope we can close this loan. But, even though I have my own preferred lender, I'll keep you in mind for the next deal that I got going on, and that's a wonderful thing because it just lets me know that, I'm not out there trying to steal loans, from other lenders because, this is you know, I believe in this day and age, there's enough business out there to do it, and I'm not trying to be
even with the low high interest rate, there's still enough business for all of us.
There's enough business out there for everybody, so I'm not trying to steal any. And I told her that as well. Listen, I'm not trying to steal you from your preferred lender. If you have a relationship, to me, relationships matter in this business, right? And if you have a relationship with somebody, you know, maintain that relationship. Keep strong. If there's fallback loans and I can help you out, great, wonderful. And if you want to send me one just to say, hey, I want to try you out and see how you do with this client, beautiful. I'm there for you. You know, and I'm not going to change the way I do business because of that, right? But I think that was wonderful that she basically gave me kudos. I haven't even closed the loan yet, right? But if she's already like seen how I am as a person and how I am when the transaction goes, and the amount of research that I've done prior to see if I can get this deal done or not, she appreciated that. And I love that. I love the fact that, you know, somebody, you know, would track me down, actually hawk me down on social media, see what we're about, you know, and look at our information that we put out there and basically say, man, these guys are good at what they do. You know?
Oh, that was another one, Jose. You know, like before we came in here to start recording this video, I had a call in, they called in, and they're asking me questions on a HELOC.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm answering the questions. This is what it is, da 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 da. They're asking me the difference between a HELOC, a refinance, explain and answer those questions. And then he told me, oh, I saw you. I told him, oh, you know, call in anytime you have a question. Mm-hmm. I was like, typically me and my partners here, either me or Jose. He's like, oh yeah, I've seen you guys on videos. And it was like, what? And he's like, yeah, me and my wife watched like 3 or 4 of your videos and da da da. I was like, yeah, man, we don't make, you know, lending isn't sexy, so we try to make it as appealing and as interesting as possible. He's like, no, you do, you know, it's good, da da da. Keep going. I was like, man, I appreciate it, because, you know, that also, we do this, and, you know, if we don't get a share or a comment, we don't know if anybody's watching it. We're just throwing it out there in the world, and whatever it is, it is. But, you know, that also makes it feel good and keeps us pushing to do some content and kind of answer questions.
Absolutely. That's good, absolutely.
So I think those are 3 solid victories. We had one apiece and then 1 combined victory. I take it all day, bro. I take it all day. I take it all day.
For sure. No, there's a lot more victories. Obviously, we can talk about a lot of different things. Securing financing for homes is a wonderful thing, and obviously that's my favorite moment. Being at the closing table. Sometimes I can't always be there though. I mean, especially when we got other loans that are, you know, going through it. And not every loan is easy. I'm gonna say this right here, right now, so everybody understands. The stuff that we do in the background on a loan, you have no idea. And I'd rather the client not know everything that's happening right now, because, you know, that stuff can stress people out.
100%.
You know, I had a client today. Matter of fact, it was Wednesday. He called me up, said, yo, are we gonna get this financing done or not? And the reason for it is because the system wasn't approving him, right? I got it done. I ended up meeting one of my AEs who I haven't worked with yet, but he answered the call. I submitted the file. They got disclosures out, and we're ready to rock and roll this loan.
That's awesome.
Which is stellar compared to where I was. And the guy was already like just not feeling like, he was feeling stressed out. And I told him, hey, I don't want you stressing, man. Let me do the stressing for you. There's a lot of work I gotta do in the background, but let me shoulder that. Let me be your Atlas, right? Let me hold that weight.
Yep.
Because the weight of buying a house is already so stressful. You gotta make sure you're working your 40 hours these days, right? You gotta make sure you have the money to do the inspections and everything you gotta do. You gotta plan for the future once you close on this house.
Yep.
Let me shoulder the weight of the stress and anxiety that you're gonna go through, and just know that if I'm handling your loan, I'm handling it.
That's it.
You know, and that's it. That's all I ask. And so it was good to get those disclosures out, because even the realtors were like, man, what's going on? It took a little time to make sure all this stuff got out, but we got it done.
But again, it's good to do the work up front and make sure you got a deal. Then they have to come in 2 or 3 days before closing and tell everybody
the deal is dead.
Yeah,
that's the worst time to come.
And you know, we learned that early in our careers.
Early, yeah.
So
absolutely.
we try to knock that. We try to minimize that as much as possible. You know, there's always going to be something that pops up at the end, but we try to minimize what we can control. We control it up front, and you were doing your due diligence. If it took you 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, it is what it is. As long as you did your due diligence up front to make sure it was everything worked out, then it's a plus.
That's it.
It's a plus. Another victory, bro.
Woo! Woo!
And that's our victories for this week at the Lending Lounge. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, hit us up.
Ask away.
let us know what you want to hear
What
about.
do you want to know?
Because
I know this industry is not sexy by no means. We always talk about it. It's not sexy. No matter how you paint it up, pretty it up, whatever, it's not sexy. I understand that.
You can't throw lipstick
but
on a pig.
I want to break it down for y'all in a way that you could understand where we're coming from, what we're doing, how we do things. You know, I even told it's funny because that one deal that I might get done when the other person couldn't. I even told that lender, listen, if I get this deal done, I'm gonna let you know how I did it, just so you're aware of that. I'm not afraid. I don't like.
You're very giving, sir.
I don't like giving my secret sauce away. Right?
That's what I was about to say. I don't
a lot of experiences here. This is why I do this. But at the same time, I also firmly believe, knowledge is power, and at the same time, I want to be able to release that knowledge.
No, I agree. I agree.
Let people learn, because I can't do all the deals.
Knowledge is power. No, but if you can't do it, something to me, I can. But no. I agree with you, man. Knowledge is power, and you definitely want to help. And it's funny because I was in an open house this past weekend, and I'm in there, and there was more lenders popping into the open house than clients and realtors. And then I'm in there and I'm talking. I'm like, oh, how can we help you? And they're like, oh, you're not gonna like me. And I was like, why am I not gonna like you? They're like, oh, because I'm a lender. I was like, I don't care. I said, there's more enough business for all of us. Yeah. And then that guy proceeds to tell me that he's been doing loans since 1996. And it's like, bro, you've been doing this longer than me. Like, you should have this on lock. Like,
on lock, absolutely.
It's cool. And then, if you're out here hustling, if you're out here walking open houses to get business, like, bro, we gotta get back to the basics. And there's more than enough business for all of us.
So, I mean, that's basically what I've been doing, right? You've been doing it. You've been doing open houses. I did open houses. I'm doing seminars. Seminars in two different types. There's one for buyers. One for realtors. So seminar, everything that makes me uncomfortable, even shooting videos like this, right? I hate being on video, but I'm gonna do it, right? Anything to get more business and allow, my knowledge to be out there, right? Your knowledge to be out there. This is why we do this. We're excited. We're passionate about our field.
Yep.
And I mean, this passion is gonna run out at 55 and maybe 60. I'm not trying to do this.
I don't know. This passion got about 7 more years left.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, the reality is, this is why we do these things. And and whatever the lenders are out there doing, man, hey, support them, man. That's what they're doing.
For sure.
They're just trying to pound the pavement, shake hands, kiss babies, be political. We have to be.
We're all in this together. Anyway, this is another episode of Lending Lounge.
The closings are made simple.